This particular building is a fairly rare example of Brutalist architecture. It's the kind of architecture that a lot of people right now may not know much about, and they certainly won't know anything about it if it gets torn down at some point in the future. So our main concern is preserving the building as it is now. Brutalist really refers to sort of a repetitive, angular design, rough formed concrete. If you look at the top of this building, you'll see almost like a gun port kind of thing going on up there. It's just a very unique mid-century modern type architecture that was around for a decade or so and then hasn't been seen since. Well, different things are important to different people during different eras, and there's a time when Victorian buildings were considered ugly and were torn down on a wholesale basis. So I think it's just a matter of trying to save something for future generations, sort of proactively, and giving people a chance to judge for themselves in the future what's beautiful and what isn't. I mean, there is beauty in almost anything.
Tell us about the tiles.
The tiles this building was built in about, I believe, 1966. The tiles were a 1975 project, which was envisioned by one of the teachers in the Catholic school system. There's 10,000 of them, and each one of them was made by a student at the time, and it represented the past, present, and future as they saw it back then in 1975. So there's 10,000 individuals that have somewhat of a vested interest, I guess, in this property because they have a ceramic tile installed here. These buildings, when they were built, both this building and the building across the street, were considered very beautiful buildings and fantastic examples of their type of architecture in the day. And they certainly will be some day in the future if they're allowed to survive. Well, economics will always rule the day. I mean, both of these properties are worth a significant amount of money on a dollars per square foot basis, and they require, I would imagine, any investor buying the property will require a fair bit of density out of whatever development goes on here. So you're right, the existing square footage of these buildings probably is not economically justifiable in the future. That may mean that this building cannot survive, or it may mean that something can be done to work around it and preserve some or part or all of the building and provide some density elsewhere on the real estate.